Excited for another episode of the Coaches Inside. Thanks to Hoop Dirt and Dr. Dish for the support of this show. But Jono Metzger-Jones from UC Davis, what's up, man?
Not much. Living the dream. Beautiful day here in Northern California.
That's what we're all trying to do, live the dream. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm really excited to talk to you because you've spent 10 years at three outstanding programs: UC Davis now, Montana, and UC Santa Barbara.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a run. Seems like just yesterday was getting started in the business, but yeah, it's been a great 2 years here at UC Davis. Before that, 5 years at the University of Montana, and then before that, did 3 years as an assistant at UC Santa Barbara. So pretty fortunate to have lived in some incredible places and worked for some great people.
Well, I want to talk about championship culture with you because in the 10 years that you've been coaching, you've been to 5 NCAA tournaments at those 3 universities. And you've also had in those 10 years 2 regular season titles, which actually led to NIT. So 7 of your 10 years you've played in a postseason. So you got to talk to us. Give us some insight on
that. One, being in the right place at the right time with the right people.
Yeah,
that's a big part of it. But I do think been very fortunate over my career with who I've been able to associate with in the game of basketball. A lot of great people have been willing to kind of take me under their wing, and I've learned from, I think, some of the best, especially out here in the Western United States in the game of college basketball. And, at a certain level, it really becomes all about players, I think. Not all about players, but a big part of it is just how good are the players, how many McDonald's All-Americans you got on the roster. Well, at the mid-major level, it's a little bit different. But how do you win consistently here is you gotta build the culture, and you got to have something that guys are latching on to that they truly believe in. And that stems from, your core values and your culture and how they feel about the program and who they're around.
Would you say that that's pretty much the most striking similarity at all 3 of those spots, like the culture that you guys developed?
I would say that that's definitely what led to the successes at each spot. I think going back and looking at it as we went through this process of talking about, what we were going to discuss, looking back and really realizing that it was a little bit different at each place. And each place, we had some things that were really good, some things that were just okay, but overall what it did at each place was bolster the opinion and the feeling of the young men in the program. And it allowed them to blossom. And if you get them feeling that way about where they're at and who they're working for, and not only the game, but what you're doing for them in their futures, there's no limit to what they can do. And we've been very, very lucky to have some great young men that bought in every place, and it's taken off every time. And every couple of years, it results in a championship, which is the end product that you're looking for. But it all starts with the culture and what you're building.
Yeah, and I would think there's a lot of those similarities. There's also differences, like there's different ways to skin a cat. And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, culture is. It's what we believe. It's how we behave because of those beliefs, and it's the experience that behavior produces for each other. And at every place, we've been able to create an atmosphere that's kind of answered some, if not all, of those questions. And so the main questions are like, guys need to feel safe. They need to feel like this is a place that I'm safe to be myself and to express myself. They need to feel close, and they got to feel connected. Like, are we connected as a group? Are we close-knit? Like, is this a close-knit group that's really connected that when adversity hits, we can get through anything? And then a big part of it is, do we share a future? Are my goals, individual goals, going to come at the expense of you? Well, that jeopardizes your future for me to have my future. But if we're going to win a championship in a team game like basketball, we got to have a shared future. We all got to feel good about where we're going. And as I went back and I thought about it, like Santa Barbara, I give Coach Williams a lot of credit. Coach Bob Williams was the longest tenured coach west of the Mississippi when he finished up last year. I mean, he was at Santa Barbara for 19 years, I think it was.
Yeah.
So obviously he had been doing something really good. And he was incredible, I think, at making our guys feel safe. He had a black leather couch in his office that he called kind of the psychology chair. And he would bring guys in all the time, but he did it. He was so in tune with how they were mentally. If they were down about basketball, if they were down about life, if they were having trouble in school. And he brought those guys into that office and he talked to them like men and he made them feel safe. in that space where that can be very stressful for a young man. You know, he wants to be successful. He's a big, strong basketball athlete, and he's supposed to be the man, but they have issues as well. And he did an incredible job of making them feel safe in his program. And because they felt safe, they were willing to go the extra mile for him. That was huge. As I thought about Montana, working for Wayne Tinkles now at Oregon State, and I also got to work with Travis DeCure, who's still the head coach there, took Montana to the tournament this year. They were unbelievable, and I mean unbelievable, at fostering this competitive environment. And what it did was it brought our guys close together, and it connected them, because we kind of had this, it's us against them. You know, we all we got. Basically, we used to say that in the locker room. We all we got. Because you're bringing in guys, and nothing against the state of Montana, but there's not a ton of high school talent up there,
right?
In the basketball world,
yeah.
You know, it's football, and there's some hockey and some other stuff, but the basketball talent isn't the best. So we would get players from all over the country to come to Montana, and now you've got young men in this foreign place who are on their own for the first time in college. Well, how do you connect them? You got to give them a rally cry and something to hold on to, and we brought them together, and I mean, those years were some of the most competitive I've ever seen and ever been a part of. I mean, we got after it on the practice court, but when it came time to go against someone else in a different colored jersey, oh boy. I mean, it was like rabid dogs. You know, I mean, seriously, we used to get after people, and that was, we didn't have McDonald's All-Americans. We didn't have these high level, you know, 5-star recruits, but we had tough guys that were connected, and you know, that led to the multiple championships we won there. And then you got to see the last couple of years here at UC Davis.
Yep. You guys have been terrific. Everything that you just mentioned, how a coach is a psychologist a lot of the time. I mean, I think that's so on point. And everything you just said over the last few minutes, you've never said X and O's at any point in time. You never said hard work at any point in time. So it's a breath of fresh air to talk to a coach that knows that there's a lot more to coaching than what people see on the practice court.
Yeah. Coaching covers a number of things now. You're coaching on the court, but it's teacher, it's psychologist, it's big brother or uncle. Mm-hmm. It's, you know, at times disciplinarian, but very rare. In my career, I've been fortunate, and we haven't had a ton of that.
Got great kids.
Great kids. I mean, that's what does it. You get great kids, but there's so many umbrellas that we cover. People don't realize how many things you have to touch on, and that's what I think, you know, Coach Les here at Davis is just unbelievable at. I think he covers all three of those things that we talked about before. He makes the guys feel safe. He makes them feel close and connected, and he really invests in their future, because the future is shared between all of us. He completely understands that their success, not only on the court, but off the court, in life, in the future, 20 years from now, directly correlates to any success that he's going to have as a coach and that our program is going to have. We have a shared future. And when you have a shared future, there's no limit to what you're willing to do to make it better for each other. If those other two things are also there, you feel safe, which Coach Les is unbelievable. I think we do a really good job of communicating with our guys and letting them know that we care about them more than just as basketball players. We talk more about other stuff than we do basketball here. And I think one thing that's very lucky about this place is we have an office set up where it's kind of a central hub. It's between our practice gym and our arena, and where our guys live. And so they're always coming through. There's always foot traffic. We've got a great lounge area with couches and TVs and things that allow our guys to literally be physically close. Yeah. And just that extra time of being physically close, it creates a connection that, again, will last in the face of adversity. And when we're down, 13 points to Northern Colorado at home with 3 minutes left, it doesn't mean the game's over. It means we can come back and win, which we were able to do. It's one example of what we were able to do this year. So there's a number of things that we have here at Davis that Coach Les has created that have really allowed this program that, when I played in the Big West at University of Pacific, was, at the bottom. I mean, Davis was down at the bottom, not an afterthought, but, not anywhere near competing for championships. And what he's done here the last 4 years, winning a piece of a championship, has been pretty dang impressive, and it all stems from culture.
Yeah, the culture, the bond, the brotherhood that you guys have created, and I got to give you props too, Jono, because of those 3 universities you've been to. Your coach has been Coach of the Year at some point in time, and that's I know that's as a result of what the assistant coaches do as well. I know it's top down, but credit goes to you for making that happen.
I appreciate it. It's again, like to help, love what we do, think we do a good job, but been very, very fortunate to be around a lot of really, really incredible coaches and mentors and people that have helped me prepare for, whatever the future holds, and ready to tackle it head on and with full confidence because, it starts with culture. Everything starts with culture, and been a part of some really, really great ones.
That's good stuff, man. Hey, I think anybody watching this is going to enjoy what you said. Obviously, you said some really good things. And hey, if anybody watching this mentions this show to Dr. Dish, the best shooting machine in the world, they're going to get an exclusive discount on any one of their products. So hey, it's a win-win, right?
Win-win. Win-win for everybody.
Appreciate your time, man. Thanks, Jono.
Awesome, Richie. Thank you.